Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know if that's something that she. I don't know if she likes it or not.
Do you do individual teas for everybody? Like they got to choose which ones they wanted?
We just had a sampling. First time we just had a sampling, and we just left it on the table. I mean, just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had hot water and that's hot water and.
You still been on that one?
Yeah, all of them on the county.
Oh, just in the county?
Yeah.
Can I just ask you to tag me in the post?
I'm still like
Just tag me.
3/4 time, temporary, so it's like, not a lot of pressure. I'm kind of there to support and help, so it's kind of nice. I don't have to. This is the first week I think I
Oh,
actually
because my page.
actually thinking about the job, thinking about how I need to take care of
Maybe tag Diane.
She's pretty tight.
So it's been pretty, which is, I don't want to stress, so it's good.
You're live.
Sad things are mostly sad, most of the time. I just, that's a dark.
Oh, there's your mom.
It's major.
Could you make sure?
Police department.
Do you need me to come back to the office?
They are so short staffed.
Maybe right before it starts.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you him when it starts.
Because they took their spot, you know, that's what happens, it's a shorthand on the streets. And most of it's just responding to calls. And so,
Is that going?
Yeah, I think so.
Because they're fine out there, they're just allocated.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yes, go make them well.
Right there. Yeah. That's what she likes.
Somewhat.
Remember you. You remember me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Congratulations.
I know. We got 2 weeks ago. All done. Yeah. Yeah. I was going to do just a trip before and I was sitting normally for the last 2 years. I'd see church and like, church done, I'm going to work on newspapers. And I see church and I was like, yeah. Okay, I'm going
I did. I saw you in the she's in
Right, that's it. It's good. He's aware. He knows he's in his family. That's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's exactly, yeah. So I also, I live in Redwood.
So, yeah, it's time for home.
We still put intentions, everyone in this room. A lot. One is
Update is how it's from Pasadena. They're watching.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to say my name.
Big 5 minutes ago. It's 4 minutes. I'm mad at us for 52, 42 seconds. Actually, I should have got battery.
No, but it's serious.
Thank you. Well, how's it? Yeah. Maybe longer. So just move the camera. I'll tell you when to change from here. 20 seconds left. Stephanie, your right arm is in the live stream. Your arm is on the young man. There you go. And just in case the right hand is
Both sides. We need to sign waivers.
I was like, do you know how much difference small parents have?
Clothe everyone's clothes. Rule the world.
I'm not honestly. There's this 107 coming this summer. Wedding. And I'm in Korea. So they're just like living at this point. And then just going to weddings and everything. It's nice because I've been they're not all the same people. So all the same directions and then it's like
No, why did it never come to more around here? It's your road.
that's not true. They're not real.
This is my parents. This is Annika.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no number. What are you doing? Anika's getting married too.
Yes, I'm also getting married about a month after him. Yeah, working, getting final wedding stuff ready, and I'll be going back to school in the fall. Yeah, I'll be going to 15 minutes from here.
Where you taking it?
I'll be getting a degree in school psychology.
Watch the
I'll probably see him there. You can see.
Can I look at things
Well,
really
Wait, so what's
I'm ready. See if we go.
I have a drink.
Beat the show.
Well, hope it does.
I saw last time. No.
I love it. It's supposed to be hard with like short legs. Someone that just saw it yesterday.
Brady, you want us to sit back, slide back in here so you can use this double chair? I thought about it. We're losing your seats.
No way.
It's my friend's in LA.
It's 20-second delay.
Okay.
Is it? What?
Brady, I'm not in it, right? Because that's what makes very distracting
No.
watching it take meetings.
You're not. You're prime time. Oh yeah. Oh crap.
That's online right there.
We are live. Everyone.
20 seconds, just one guy that's in full crap.
There is
3 people watching me on the road right now.
Do you know where it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, back there. So Mary, welcome back. Mary, welcome back. They never left. What's he do?
Yeah, I think something's up
We still don't understand what Brady's degree is, so that's okay. Yeah. It's got an interview in Ashland. Yeah. On Wednesday. Yeah.
Hey, Cindy,
That's okay.
for administration.
It's still in the country, so.
Ask me if you guys in the States.
Yeah.
Indonesia.
Yeah.
It's bad, bad.
Yes.
It's like a whole
It's more of an antique. Yeah. And my other one's a boutique, kind of boutique. Yeah.
It's perfect. Yeah, he's
I've still had it quite a while, probably 10 years for the one at Mill and 7 years for the one at yeah, and all that. We didn't even know Brady. Brady came on one time and said, I'm thinking about asking him to be
It's a good study.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to marry me. imagine what happened.
Oh, I wish I would have said.
Yeah. Couple days.
There's some chairs back there if we need them. Yeah. Or you can sit there.
Are they
There's a couple black chairs over there. Chairs over there.
No, right. Not like those are good.
Okay, so we're gonna get started in about 5 minutes. Here's some helpful little notes. First note is the programs that are kind of scattered around are helpful to kind of introduce the characters that are going to be performed tonight. And so you have kind of demographics. There's a note hanging on the back in case you're kind of wondering how this whole project got started. So that'd be helpful to read here in the next few minutes. And the show lasts about 20, 23 minutes, somewhere in that range. So just so you know to prepare for. And then Annie will kind of close with some thoughts after she performs. And just like we're at the movie theaters, it's helpful if cell phones are turned on quiet. Annie's really talented and will fight through cell phone rings, so don't freak out, but it helps if they're silent. So any questions or helpful things?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I didn't know somebody's gonna come in soon, that could be in the middle of the performance, so is there a back door that you'd rather
Yeah.
have her come
Yeah,
through?
if anyone wants to come in, there's a back door along the side, and enters in this door right here. Great. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do about 4 minutes.
That was a great discussion.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
No, yes.
Rest of worksheet.
They go home. Did you go home and then come back? You go home and then come back. Oh, it's Sunday. That's it.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's Sunday.
It's Rachel actually texted me. She's like, I'm so glad to see you on a Saturday. I was like, oh my gosh.
No one's going to work tomorrow.
We all like. Monday's gonna be hard for you.
My whole week is gonna be messed up, because I'm coming up to it.
Oh.
You suck. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right. When is that coming? What day are you?
Oh.
Right, Monday.
If you ever get anything to get for my birthday, get the house candy blend tea, very good.
Let's see,
Vanessa's father. His father's name was William. Several women told me he was not a particularly attractive man. He was kind of brutish, but I like that. I like that cowboy look. I like that low, hard boy look. Because they clean up really nice. Oh. I may be single, but I ain't dead, so that still gets me still. And I like those piercing eyes. Especially, believe it or not, the bluer the better. I just gotta be for those blue eyes. Ugh. Anyway, I don't know. At my age, I think I'm beautiful. No. No, that wasn't one of God's plans. He didn't give me the look. You know, when Vanessa and I are together, I say we're the beauty and the bronze. She's, well, I thank God I'm a bit more mature now, and like I said, I'm able to see beauty maybe when most people can't, and that feels good. I'm sorry for the emphasis that is put on beauty in this country, and I guess around the world, unless you're pencil thin, white, or very light-skinned black. You know, I'm a black woman. There was no way getting around it. I don't like being called African American. I'm a black-skinned woman, but people only find black skin beautiful when so I was probably 6th grade, so like 11, 12, and I went to public elementary school, and in elementary school you always want compliments, and sometimes you'd be like, oh, I'm so fat, and everyone would be like, oh, it's like you know how to do them. And this was very new to me, everyone did it, and but I was with mostly Asians, and Asians are sticks, so I remember one time I was like, oh, and no one said anything. And I was the biggest one there, just because I was taller than all of them. I had hips, I had boobs, like I got really fast, and they didn't say anything. And I felt really awkward. So then I started thinking that I was fat, and I tried to make myself anorexic. I don't like throwing up, so I was never bulimic, but I tried to think. I was like, okay, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. Because my cousin was anorexic, and I saw how skinny she got, and to me that wasn't a bad thing, because I knew it was bad for you, but I didn't care. I was so desperate to be skinny. I wanted to be normal because that's what my friends were like, and they were normal. So I talked to my cousin a little bit about it, because me and my cousin have a lot of stuff in common. She was like, don't do it. It's not worth it. I thought that I'll only be anorexic for a little bit, and that's what I was thinking. And she was like, it didn't work. I just kept thinking I was fat, and she went to a negative or 0 something, so she was very small. And she looked at my sister, whose mom were the same, and she was like, oh, she's so much skinnier than me. So it was just chemical, messed up. So I knew how that worked. And she was telling me how to ruin your chances for a kid. That scared me. I was like, no, okay, I want kids. I'm gonna stop. So I tried to be comfortable. I think because you're beginning to see different images of the hegemonic beauty that you've seen forever and ever. We're seeing, in fact, I just saw this really cool, I think it was a YouTube clip of a photographer who is finding women that have facial birthmarks or some albino women and telling them how beautiful they are and taking pictures of them and putting them up in his gallery as images of beauty. So I think that culture, there's been a lag. And cultures always kind of catch up. To see slowly the different images changing. You know, culture is changing and shifting, but I still think we've got a long way to go. I think my idea of beauty is a little bit different because physically I'm not beautiful. And, when I was a kid, I grew up believing I was ugly. So, really ugly. To the point that I would even curse myself or call myself like I was a freak or whatever. But part of that was based because of what people told me. Because people told me I was black, your Aunt Jemima or whatever, and that wasn't attractive. I remember as a woman, as a later black woman, I remember bleaching my skin so I could have a lighter complexion. I've tried everything with my hair to make it prettier, acceptable. You know, I've had extensions, I've pressed it, I've curled it, I've colored it, all this stuff. And then finally one day, I guess I was in my early 50s, I cut it off. All of it. I'm still thinking about going bald one day, just get it out of my system, but I shaved it down. I shaved it down and I said, Lord, look at this. Who knew my look was no hair at all? You know, it's how uncomfortable. You know, the thought of having to grow my hair again makes no sense to me. It's not fair, and I think that's what beauty is. Just being who you are. Not just being who you are, but coming to terms with it and accepting it. That's the process I'm in right now. I was talking to Sherry about my body recently, and you know the fact that, well, what do you call this? Not cellulite, but collagen. Yeah. Oh yeah, the collagen's breaking down, so I'm a jelly fool now. You know, I just kind of like it. I'm just kind of like Jello. I just kind of stand and I look and I kind of walk, you know. I find that amazing. You know, it's kind of like celebrating getting older and everything. But then there's still parts of me that I have difficulty accepting and embracing. Nothing can change until I embrace all of who I am. I'm tired of grieving. I don't have a good shape. Thin. Thank God. I don't want to be thin. I like jiggling. I wish I liked it better, but step by step. Then this incident happened in 2006, and I had to go through a lot of counseling. And my counselor shared with me, she said, you live in these extremes. Like you live in this extreme of perfection. Evidence of that is your eating disorder. Evidence of that is your strive for perfection in your job and your relationships. So you live there, or you swing and you live in a place of screw it. And when I live in those places, I think I tend to get a little self-interest to some extent. I used to really injure myself. Not like I wouldn't cut myself, but I really beat up on myself mentally and sometimes physically. And as she listened to my story, she said, you live in these extremes and you've never learned how to just live. And she said, do you know that being sad? Do you know that being angry is okay? Do you know that because of what's happened to you, that's a result of A, you made a bad choice, but B, you wouldn't allow yourself to just be average, to be normal? And so, after some time of really understanding what she was telling me, I sat down with my mom, and it was probably much details I'm going with you because I never wanted to criticize her for her parenting. She's a great mom, and she loves me a lot, and she's my biggest fan, and I adore her. But I also needed her to know that some of the things that I've experienced in my life, I feel have been a result of having negative emotion. She kind of listened, and I think she understood. She'd bring up memories like, yeah, I remember you'd be so angry at me. And I'd be like, yeah, Mom, I would. And what would you do? You'd send me to my room and try and just let me figure it out. And harmful. And she'd say, yeah, I could see how that could be that way. So I wouldn't say we've gone through in-depth counseling together. I wouldn't say we spend hours unraveling my childhood, but I think she knows that I've had to learn how to live in the middle. I mean, I have memories of her. I'd be like 14 or something, be getting ready to go to church, and she'd be like, you need to go curl your hair a little more. You know, go put on some lip gloss. You need to just, I think she just wanted me to look the part. And I looked the part, and I played the part, and I was that person too, but I had no control. And I think that's where the eating disorder and some of the self-harm came in. Because it gave me a sense of control. You don't really believe it until you hear it from somebody you don't expect to hear it from. I'd be like, oh, I need to stop eating this so I don't get fat. And then some of my guy friends, they'd be like, oh, you don't even worry, you're perfect, you're fine. And they'd be like attracted to me, but never heard this from a guy towards me before, and so it's I think it's very important when people say to you, because back to 6th grade when they didn't say anything, that's when I started going downhill. For me, because I feel like I read a lot into things, and so like when they didn't say anything, I like automatically think I'm fat, even if I'm super skinny. And if someone said something else, then I was fat. It's like their opinion mattered more than mine, because at that point I was still fighting myself. I didn't have an opinion. No, but it's been a lot better recently. I've actually lost a lot of weight, because back like 6th, 7th grade, I was looking at the internet, how to lose weight, how to look skinny, what jeans to wear to look good, and I remember I looked at a lot of Kim Kardashian's clothes, because she's Armenian, she's curvy, and I was like, okay, great. And then I saw this article, and she was like, okay, I have cellulite, like whatever. And I mean, she's not the best model. I'm not saying go look her up if you're feeling overweight, but it was just like, well, if she has cellulite, maybe I can deal with it too. But then she got liposuction, so it was like really bad. But it's just like, I just want to find someone that I think is beautiful and they're not like a stick. Because I find like the people that I think beautiful, they're all super skinny or small. Like, they might be curvy, but I have curves, like hips and butt and thighs. You know, they have like hips and butt and like legs. So this year I was just like, you know what, I can accept my body, whatever. You know, I might be fat, it doesn't matter. Whatever I want, it doesn't matter. Someone will find me one day. As a kid, my hair was such a sore point, and eventually I got sick and most of my hair fell out, and then I had this rash on my lip, and my mother, back in the day, there was this medicine, it was violet called, and my mother would smear that on my lip to get this rash or whatever it was, and there was this one day, I was a fat kid, and had no hair, this purple lip, and it was like, dear Lord, what else? What else? Oh, you know, it just confirmed the fact that I was an ugly child. It was hard. Beauty was ever stolen from me. Or give it to me. Can't steal what you don't have. I had to come to peace with the fact that I don't possess a physical beauty. So therefore nobody could take it. Pretty and other things. So, well, instead of being pretty, I guess I tried really hard to be good. That didn't really work out well either, but I learned to love, for lack of a better word, I learned to love ugly. Where some people say, you know, that person's ugly because of whatever, you know, I don't do that. I don't do that. You know, ugly people to me are people who hurt or who are mean deliberately. Go out of their ways to hurt or shame others. You know, those people are ugly. They need to work on that. My own personal definition of beauty has changed. I'm 42 now, so my definition of beauty as a 20-year-old versus a 30-year-old and now as a 40-year-old is very different. As a 20-year-old, beauty was wrapped up in looks. Beauty was wrapped up in kind of looking different and appealing and probably sexual to some extent, because that's the message that a lot of young 20-year-olds get. At the height, to some extent, of my eating disorder, or at least coming out of my eating disorder. So, although I had decided and had committed to changing my behavior around how I ate, my mind and my image of beauty hadn't healed yet. It was still very caught in the message that I was clinging to. That was hard. But I think as I got older in my 20s, and you know, particularly having a partner that I knew at the time, but when I met my partner, he was the first, basically, this is going to sound awful, but he kind of called me on the carpet. And if I said to him, gosh, I'm feeling really frustrated right now. I hate my body and I feel really fat, which is otherwise known as I'm scared. I think that's saying my mind, I'm feeling fat, is another way of saying I have fear. I have fear of letting go. But he was the first one in my life that basically just turned it into a joke. Like, yeah, you are looking a little fat today. Or, yeah, you are looking a little pudgy today. You know, as mean as that sounds, I have to admit, it's exactly what I needed. I needed someone in my life to not just say, it's okay, you look beautiful. I needed someone to say, in essence, what you're saying is ridiculous, right? I think definitely the biggest thing for me is people and what they say and what I was constantly asking, what do they think about me? And they'd be like, well, they think you're pretty. And I'd be like, okay. But then some would be joking around and they'd be like, oh, Simone, you fat ass. And I'd be like, am I really fat? Like, and then I was up here and I can just drop so easily. Like, I'm climbing at the top, and then I can just drop so quickly. Hard. I love kids. And to be a good role model, like, whether I'm a teacher, or a good role model for kids, that's like my goal. Especially when I was doing these summer musicals, I loved it because the kids like to come to me and ask questions, and I love helping them. And the other day I had this little girl, and she was like, I think you're beautiful. And I was just like, oh, just like made my year. So like even the little things, they count. And if I have a confidence level of like 3 out of 10, it's hard to be a good role model because if you're lying to yourself about them, you're like, oh yeah, don't worry about what people say about you. You know, I feel like I'm like a huge hypocrite in that sense because I'm very much like, oh, whatever she says, it doesn't matter because obviously she doesn't have a brain. It can be very frustrating, but I'm working on it. I mean, for 20 years, I'm really seeking out the fact that I was loved no matter what. That I was the beloved of Christ, that I can just be an average person. That concept was completely foreign to me. Average, I wanted to be other than. And that darkness and brokenness and through a lot of healing, I came to find out that really my strive for beauty, in whatever way it was, whether it was through body or perfection, was really because I never learned how to accept the fact that I could be sad, angry, the fact that I could be mad. Because as a child, anytime I expressed a negative emotion, any negative emotion, I was sent to my room. I was asked to go, you're grounded, go away, we don't accept that kind of behavior. And so I never learned how to have the full range of human emotion. Because in my mind, if you're angry or if you're sad, something's wrong with you. So for 20 years, I've been taking all that negative anger and turning it on myself. So my definition of beauty really changed throughout that time. And not that I've arrived, but I think I'm at a place now where I love the fact that I'm average. I love the fact that some days I really fall on my face and I don't do well in my job, or with my kids, or with my husband. And the reason why I love that is because I've accepted, I think, my brokenness. And by accepting my brokenness, I actually am stronger, and I find myself all the more beautiful because of it. And I know that seems really vague, but I think today, so I'm 41 or 42, I don't remember, and I still care about my body, but it's so much more about thanking God for like the fact that I have legs that can run, or that I have eyes that can see, and that my body is in good shape, and that I care for it. And for the first time in my life, it's not to please others. And that may sound really shallow, but it's a huge thing for me, because for the past 20 years, like I said, I've been so worried about what I look like, and now, I still care about myself, I still care about my body, and I exercise, and I run, and I do all those things that bring me joy, but they're for me now, they're not for anyone else. And I'm gentler on myself, I'm gentler on my body, I'm gentler on just my person, I think. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for sharing your evening with me, just a little snippet of your evening with me and for coming out. These these stories are from real women, and out of respect to their stories and their willingness to be vulnerable, let me share their story. I do have some scratch paper on each table, and if you don't have any, just raise your hand, we'll pass them around. But if you would just write a reflection, and just write a reflection of these stories, and you can pass them back to me or keep them for yourself. But this is not just for me to be up here. It's actually to share these stories, and I hope and trust that they've impacted you in some way, or that you can relate to something someone said. And so, as respect to these women, I would really like just to take a moment and do that for them. Thank you. If you can, please raise your hand.
Hi. Hi. Who are you? Is it your sister wedding now?
Yeah. Multiple personalities.
Longer?
This is it. Do you guys want to write? Let me share paper.
Oh, you have it. On money. You have it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Back in a month? You haven't done? That's what Wayne's saying? Thanks. Where are you having the wedding this weekend? We like it. Yeah, it's like these little towns. They have all kinds of great food there. Yes. Well, what's the connection? Just that you were born there? Well, that's how the years be there. There's so much.
Tell you,
So we've been out to several different places. But this seems like little bars, little stuff like this. And there's like some more like
Only the last 2 to 3 hours. That's right.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Just want to think about it. I'd rather just like, yeah, just move on. So no, it's just for yourself,
I did a little like change my side. Crazy. I still like that combo.
You live in Newark too? No.
Oh, no, that's what I was talking about. Other parts, right? That's
Isn't that wild? Should just came and then I just have a little marky fork stuff.
It's crazy.
You guys are welcome to get up and it's over, so. Whatever you want.
There's probably enough people down there downtown that will make this. That place in Portland. Yeah, you can't like. Awesome. Like, we're actually seeing ourselves as like people just like.
Oh, here I am. Oh, it's not live anymore.
Hey everyone, I think that's the end. I tried to get Annie to come over and say goodbye, but she's in the middle of big conversations and there's a line to talk to her, so I don't think she's going to make it over here. But I'm going to close the stream because that's going to be it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you being a part of this. Bye-bye.